What is up, guys? It's Avon Doom coming at you from Brooklyn, New York, the Mutant Metal Maniac headquarters. Here
at the Bombs Mahal.
At the Bombs Mahal. So I wanted to, we were thinking about something. This would have been earlier, but I literally just slept all weekend and played Street Fighter V. So I'm a fucking asshole. Anyways, so today we wanted to go over a few books from the last couple of years. How old's the oldest book, you would say?
1986. 2 years younger than me.
Okay, there you go. So 1986, we're talking about millennial type books. So, all right. So I guess we'll just go through this. I don't have a huge expertise in comic books. That's why I have the commander of the mutant army to tell me and enlighten me about all of these books. I know a couple of them, but not as much as I probably should. So with that said, let's get started. You want to go through it?
Well, I'm Billy Bombs, since he just totally skipped me for a while. And this is our new studio at my apartment, the Bombs Mahal.
It's not a studio, it's just a fucking apartment.
I went through a lot of work to make the back look good. But first off, we're gonna kick off with Uncanny XForce from Rick Remender. This one also has artwork, which I feel bad not knowing the guy's name because I've never pronounced Opeña.
Yeah.
Jerome Opeña. This is a great series of books. There's 7 of them. He took over for, I think it was Christopher Yost and Craig Kyle, which is a really good run. We're doing mostly Marvel books, but this is like Uncanny X-Force sent out by Cyclops to kill villains before they became a bit larger threat. Those are the first 2 volumes with Christopher Yost and Craig Kyle, but this one is a more action-packed by Rick Remender, and this one is pretty much a roller coaster of a book. This one's called The Apocalypse Solution, which starts off with them gaining a new member in Phantom X, and him helping them stop the Apocalypse Twins. Over time, the book develops their storyline, and it leads into other stuff like New Avengers from Jonathan Hickman and regular Avengers. Well, parts of it. The story does wrap up in Uncanny Avengers, which I should have brought out, but my mistake. But those books carry on that style of writing where it's really abstract and futuristic and creating new characters.
So what would you say is the reason that you like? What's the main reason that you like this book so much?
Rick Remender.
Really?
Okay. Everything he does is magic. He did Frankencastle, which is a mix of Punisher meets Frankenstein, which is such a terrible idea, but he made it work. All of his Siege books were good, or I think it was Secret Invasion, which I'm not a fan of either one of those, but his writing was really well. We'll move to the next one. Jeff Johns' run on Avengers. This is the first book in the series called World Trust. This one, it's basically like redoing the Avengers and making them like a lot better written and them covering a lot more ground. I'm having a brain fart on what the story's about, but because this was like 98 to 2000 something.
When was the last time you read it?
Probably 2000 something.
Oh wow! Okay.
We're in 2016,
okay.
so it's a while ago. But it's a good book you should check out. Not everything we can go over in detail.
Of course.
But this one looks like season 4 of Daredevil, which will probably come out. This one's called Born Again, where his girlfriend Karen Page, who you know in the series if you haven't read any of the books, becomes a heroin addict and sells out his identity. And the Kingpin goes after him every part of his life and destroys it. It's an amazing book by Frank Miller.
Yeah.
I always mess up the guy, David Mazzucchelli, the artist. If that ain't authentic Italian, I don't know what it is. The artwork is killer. Every character's development is killer. Nuke shows up in this story, which Rick Remender brings up in a Captain America book, which I loved later on, like 2015. But a lot of the stuff is great. You should check this one out.
Is there like so between that book, let's say that book Born Again, and the show, how much of the show, right? Because I know that's a little bit later on.
Yeah, this would be like literally season 3 or 4 of the show, because right now they're bringing out like Elektra and Punisher. And next up, they got to build up their relationship in the story. It's not a 1-year thing, and then she doesn't even know he's Daredevil yet.
Yeah.
So
okay.
The Frank Miller run right now is more of the one. Oh man, I'm having a problem remembering numbers. Like 169 to 184. which I can't believe I think I got it. I think I got it on there. It might have been 168, but it's pretty much that run.
Okay.
Is the first season.
So how much of the show do you think mirrors that book? Like
nothing yet. Nothing yet. The Kingpins, they're building
like
the Kingpin.
That's what I'm saying. Like the style, like the way the Kingpin is in the show. I've always seen him like a little bit different than that because in the show, he looks like he's more calm and calculated.
Well, that's Frank Miller's Kingpin.
Okay.
You grew up on Amazing Spider-Man, the cartoon, or Spider-Man, and that Kingpin was more gallivanting around like a hussy.
Yes, yeah.
That's the thing. It's like, which is good for a cartoon because you really don't need to develop a character.
And it's over the top and it's fun. Like,
that's our generation grew up on the X-Men cartoon and that one.
Hell yeah.
But let's think of Spider-Man. This is the next book, which Abe's a fan of the writer.
Hell yeah.
J. Michael Straczynski's run on Spider-Man. This one has John Romita Jr. Only like 1 or 2 sets in this whole run. This is the Ultimate Collection. You should collect them all 5. Even though one of them is really bad, which I love J. Michael Straczynski for, though. This one starts off with returning to Peter Parker's roots and being a lovable loser. He stops being a photographer and becomes a science teacher at a local high school and try to help kids. And with the artwork from J. Romita Jr., fantastic. The man is my Rembrandt.
So when did this one come out?
Oh, this one was right before 9/11. About 6 months before 9/11, because one of the issues in here is the black issue, basically, of Spider-Man. And it just says, I think, number 36. It's been a while, but, like, that's a great book. J. Michael Straczynski just wrote, like, there wasn't much words needed in this series because it's just the towers falling and telling that story. Me and Abe were in high school at the time.
Yeah.
But that's another story for another time that we don't really want to get into.
Oof.
But this is J. Michael Straczynski's run on Spider-Man, which is fantastic. Before this, he's known for Abe's favorite show, Babylon 5.
Oh, so good.
Which was actually ripped off because he was shopping around in 1987. And then Deep Space Nine came out like a few months later.
Another fucking great show.
That's
no problem with that.
That show ran for much longer and had a really intricate, different storyline. They had a few similarities, but if you're not looking for it, you're fine.
Besides like the just fact that they're on a space station and it just has to do with all the people that are going on in the space station. I mean, but like, oh my God, that's a great show. It's one of those shows where, I mean, not to get off topic for too long, but it's one of those great shows that you know every episode counts for something. A lot of the characters you see in the first season end up being fairly significant in the fifth and last, and it's just a really good show. It's really, really bad the first couple of episodes, but if you can go through like the first 6 or 7 with like the acting is kind of like questionable.
I'm just cracking up because I remember watching it every 10 years, and my time's up to watch it again.
Yeah, and I need to.
1997.
I need to.
2007.
Yeah.
2017.
I need to watch that again.
Luckily, we have all 5 seasons plus the movies and the Lost Years.
Yeah, so you gotta watch that from beginning to end. If you get a chance, watch it. If you get another chance, read that fucking book because it's J. Michael Straczynski and the man can almost do no wrong.
Well, what he has done wrong in the series is the best part of it. He was told by who was the head in charge of Marvel to bring back Gwen Stacy in some capacity. And she was supposed to come back as oh no, wait, actually I'm wrong. I think it was his idea, which is terrible in itself. The Gwen Stacy children that she had with Norman Osborn. Such a bad run, we're gonna keep going.
Okay.
The one that they forced on J. Michael Straczynski was removing Spider-Man's marriage from the history of comic books by making a deal with the devil. Aunt May got shot by, I guess would be a burglar or another villain, and he wanted her to save her life.
Was that like an alternate universe?
No, it was this universe, and he makes a deal with Mephisto to erase anybody's knowledge that he's Spider-Man because of the Civil War, which is the new Captain America film. You'll know what I'm talking about. He reveals his identity, and everybody comes after him, and he only has one relative other than his wife. So Mephisto tells him, I want to break up your history of marriage, your love story, all this stuff. They make it really over the top. It's so bad that J. Michael Straczynski didn't put his name on a couple of the issues, so people didn't know he wrote it.
Damn.
But it was Darwick's Joe Quesada. It was Joe Quesada, I guess Queen's Finest or whatever he was from. So you can't hate on him too much. I try to not hate on him, but come on, man. Like 20 years of a comic book, and you're like, let's just fuck it up.
Oh God.
You know, I got a tattooed on my wrist, Spider-Man. I got with great power comes great responsibility. Come on! But before we lose our minds and we spend way too much time and then have to edit the crap out of this thing, move on to the next.
I have to edit the crap out of this.
Grant Morrison's new X-Men. You better be quick about it.
Yeah.
This is a great run where he rebooted the X-Men after the X-Corps, which were from, what was it, from, I say the X-Force, but in reality, this is the X-Men run. He continued on from 113, like it was the last issue he took over 114 and became new X-Men. They still had these like costumes where they're kind of more of a military group and Beast is evolving, and it's Frank Quitely's artwork, most of it. Just buy it for that. But there's 3 volumes in this Ultimate Collection. One deals with the Phoenix in like a Days of Future Past storyline later on. This starts off with millions of mutants being murdered. Read the story. I don't want to go into too much detail. It's a lot of Professor X stuff. It's very good. To the next one.
Okay.
This is one of my favorites. The Hood.
Yeah, this looks really, really awesome just from the cover, actually.
Brian K. Vaughan and Kyle Hotz. Let's be honest, just the tagline alone, with great power comes great opportunity. What if a criminal had powers? And this is the first series run where, to be honest with you, nobody thought this was going to go much. So it was just a 6-issue Max run. Max is some of the greatest books ever, Marvel Max. I'm a huge Punisher fan. We're going to do a whole episode just on the Punisher's run. From Garth Ennis, and the cover's done by Tim Bradstreet. That's next.
Oh, yeah.
Don't get me started now. We'll just focus on this one. This is a well-written 6-issue storyline. Later on, he becomes a major villain for the Avengers. So if you can, pick this one up to start it off, and then you'll love it. Yeah, he becomes like a leader of his own version of the Illuminati, which is the Illuminati's are the greatest minds in the world, like or powerful leaders like Black Bolt, Professor X, Doctor Strange, Captain America. Well, it was Iron Man, but later on Captain America. And he makes a villain's version of this. Check this book out. If it's 6 issues, if you don't like it, at least it's only 6 issues.
That's kind of awesome. That sounds really good. I want to read that.
All right, and we got one more for this episode before we start editing. Is Inhumans from Paul Jenkins and Jay Lee. Sorry, I messed up his name. It says it was an award-winning book. I remember finding it. It took forever to find this book because it's never been reprinted. It just started being reprinted last year when Marvel decided, we're going to make a movie out of this in 2020.
I knew it sounded familiar when I just looked at it. I think I may have read about that.
But the more they looked into it, the more they didn't care, and it got canceled. The Inhumans is really a Fantastic Four group. They're in the Fantastic Four series where they get discovered by the Fantastic Four in issue like 45 or like 55, something like that. And it's basically these they're humans to some degree, but they get exposed to Terrigen Mist, which it's a long story, but I'll try and make it short. The Celestials created our planet with a Celestial in the inside of it, and that's how they're born.
Yeah, it's the eggs, right?
It's their eggs. It's like their planet.
Yeah.
Can't see you, Abe.
What?
No, you can't be hiding behind
up here?
Yeah, you're like, I love this book. Welcome to the Billy Bomb Show. No, but in this series, it's a short story. It's been so long since I read it that I have no idea what I'm reading. But I basically think it's a story of Black Bolt fighting with his own brother over the throne of the Inhumans. But basically, the Celestials. Sorry, got to edit this part out.
Yeah.
So the Celestials are create the Earth to hatch one of their eggs in, but all the beings on here are basically antibodies. And that's how we all start. Like, the more we evolve in the mutant kind and Terrigen Mist is
to stop the Celestial from being born?
No, to protect the Celestial, like it's in the womb. We're antibodies, like you're a body developing a person.
So then what's Galactus?
Galactus is supposed to be the hero of the story in
awesome.
the whole universe scheme. He's from the old universe, and the Celestials are considered the gardeners and the destroyers of our universe. And he devours the egg from within. And that's what he's really looking for. That's an Earth X story, but the Inhumans is basically the first stage of antibodies before there was mutants. Or vice versa. But either way, the Inhumans is basically X-Men. But more of a royal, like, interspace characters. But that's it for our list for now. On Marvel ones. But We would like to hear from your comments and what books do you think we missed out on that we thought were great. And I will gladly argue with him about them.
So yes, make sure you like, subscribe. So if you want more content, I know this is only like one or a couple of videos in, but yeah, just thanks for watching, and then we'll have more content for you later on, either by myself or Billy here. I'll force him to do videos on his own so I can pump him out. And thanks again. Let us know what are your top 10 best books, Marvel, DC. It doesn't really matter.
We definitely didn't do 10.
Yeah, we definitely didn't do 10. That was just an like a. It doesn't matter. That's
first episode in a while.
Yeah. So yeah. Thanks again. Thanks for watching. This is Abe Von Doom.
This is Billy Bombs.
And thanks for tuning in to the Mutant Metal Maniac podcast, whatever you want to call it. Thank you.
It's a webisode.
Webisode. Whatever. Go fuck yourself.